How to design an architect's office. When it comes to learning, there is a great masterpiece designed by Palinda Kanagera. He is a Sri Lankan architect and he has done several great projects in the field of architecture. Palinda architecture is more about sustainability and the importance of pure geometry. So in today's video, we will try to understand that how Palinda architect has implemented his design principles, and also we will try to understand that how we can implement these design principles into our design. So let's try to understand the site plan of the house. So this is the site plan of the house. This is the site area, which is located in the hustle and bustle of the city, and on the one side of the site there is a small wetland area which has a dense forest area. Also there is a road network which connects the site from the surrounding context, and you can also see that there are so many houses around the site. So here Palinda architect implemented his design principles, and we can see that his design approach is always very simple but very efficient. And if you see here, there is a square geometry in the plan, which is something like this, and he has divided this plan into the 9 grid system, and these 9 grids are very helpful while designing the concept of the house. In this design, he has extended this square geometry into the cube geometry, and he has extended the whole system of the cube as well as in the elevation also. And this is the schematic conceptual axonometry, which explains how the cube geometry he has implemented into his studio. So this studio is a combination of residential as well as a office. So he combined both the functions together to make this architecture unique. So in this house as well as an architecture office, there is a strong brick facade which is in the front, where he has used the locally available material, as well as at the back side there is a small wetland area which is very close to the site, and it has a view of the whole neighborhood. As well as in the front there are like a hustle and bustle, so to avoid the noise of the surrounding, he has put a buffer wall in front of the main elevation. So this wall protects the house from the direct noise, and it is open from the back side, which gives the whole natural light inside the house. As well as the front facade is the west facade, so this buffer wall also protects the house from the direct sun rays. So at the roof he has added a roof garden which makes the house cool in the summertime. So let's try to understand the plan of the house, that how Palinda architect has implemented his design principle into the design. So here this is the ground floor plan. So on the ground floor you can notice that the house has a pure geometry of a square, and also he divided the whole house on the basis of 9 grid system. So this is a pure geometry that he has used into the design, and from here there is a reference point. So this is the entrance of the house, which has a direct entrance from the road. The center of the house is the parking area, which is a kind of a covered courtyard which contains a 4-car parking space. And you can clearly see that while you enter into the house, this is the main entrance towards the office area, and these are the stone steps which will lead you to the entrance lobby of the main office, which is on the first floor. So this is the ground floor plan, and on the right side of the house is more dedicated to the residential function spaces, which contains a guest room at this corner. So at the top right corner there is a office kitchen, and on the top left corner there is a model room and the printer room. So at the back side of the house there is a lakeside courtyard which has a small kind of a farming and a small forest that he has developed at the backside of the house, and it also has a view of the lake. While you are cooking a food inside the kitchen, there is also a covered courtyard which provides a kind of a light as well as wind inside the kitchen. So on the ground floor also he has added a boundary wall to give a kind of a shape that the house is resting on these two big chunk of volume. Now let's see what is happening on the first floor. So you take these staircase and you come. So these are those staircases which will lead you to the entrance lobby. While you enter into the lobby, there is a view of the surrounding. Now you take a turn right and you enter into the lounge area. So while you enter into the house, there is a lounge area, and the light enter from the north of the office. And you also have a view of the lake from this part. And from this lounge, you enter into the main office, which has a small office of somewhere around 10 people can sit inside this office, and this is the area for the principal architect. So in the front of the house there is an exposed brick wall which protects the house from the noise of main road, as well as you can see there is a fish pond which is located very close to the front entrance. So from here the wind enters from these small cavities, and this wind becomes cool while they enter into the main office. because of these cavities as well as from this fish pond. So this principle also emphasizing the Bernoulli's principle, which explains that the how hot air become cool while they enter into the main house. And there are two staircases in this house. One staircase is very close to the lounge area as well as from the entrance, and this will lead you to the first floor of the house, as well as the another staircase which is a very private staircase and a circular staircase which will lead you to the main living area of the house. So if you go on the second floor of the house, there is an extension of the office, as well as the north part of the house has a residential area. So on the second floor of the house, you take this staircase and you enter into the conference area, as well as there is a library area in the corner of the house, and this is the cavity wall that is providing a kind of a buffer from the main street and protect the house from the direct sun rays. So this is the brick wall which protect the house from the direct sun rays as well as provide a cool wind inside the house. The lounge area is a double height, so the floor plate is somewhere stops here. And Palinda also designed the concrete tables inside the house so that people can sit here, put their laptop and enjoy the whole view of the surrounding. And the northeast side of the house has a louvers, and these louvers also protect the office from the direct wind. And on the north side of the house, there is so you enter from here, there is a bedroom which has a balcony as well as a view of the wetland area, and they also have an open bath in front of the house. So this space has a private as well as public area together. And you take this staircase and you go up, and if you go on the roof floor plan, so this is the roof floor plan. So from this staircase you come on the roof floor plan, which is a kind of an entertainment area, and it also has a roof garden which protects the house from the direct sun rays, and it makes the house more cool, and it also decreases the temperature of the house inside. And the center part of the house has a kitchen as well as a living area. And now we can try to understand that the geometry of the house is a cube which has a 9 grid. You can see these emphasis on the column here, which gives the kind of a grid system that make a kind of a system of a 9 grid inside the house. So if we try to understand the house with the help of a section, and if we cut the section from this side, let's see what is happening on the section side. So this is the section of the house, and you can clearly see that the overall geometry of the house is following the cube that we already discussed in the conceptual schematic plan. So this is the cube, pure cube geometry that he has followed into the design, and you can clearly see this is the main street of the house, and this is the entrance of the house. You enter into the ground floor, which is a parking area, and so this is the main entrance of the office area, which is from the ground floor. And you can clearly see at the back side he has added a small wetland or a farming area which has a view of the surrounding wetland. And when you take this staircase and you go up in the first floor, there is a double height lounge area. So this is a double height lounge area, and this has a big louvers, glass louvers, which has a view of the surrounding context, and it also protects the house from the direct wind as well as, and the natural light directly enters into the house, which decrease the dependency on the artificial light. And these are the two floors which are dedicated to the office area, and you can clearly see here that this is the kind of a conference area on the second floor, and office area is on the first floor. So, and the top floor of the house has a entertainment area which has a living area which also has a kitchen area, and these are the shades that he has provided to protect the house from the direct sunlight. And now we will try to understand one last detail that is very important to see the importance of the section. So this is the same section. On the ground floor he has added a stone paving which has a small slope which will lead you to the main parking area, and on the back side there is a rear garden as well as it has a wetland area in the back side, which is a kind of a small forest and a farming area. And on the front side he has added these brick cavity which has a small punctures. On the top floor he has added these beams that has a wooden deck on the top of it, which makes the kind of a cavity inside the house. And he also added a green roof to protect the house from the direct sun rays, which makes the house more cool. And the microclimate of the house is different from the outside temperature. And he added these RCC shading devices, which has these are the RCC concrete sunshade, and he added aluminium windows here to give a view of the surrounding context. And this is the RCC slab which has a waterproofing at the top. And at the back side he has added a glass handrail, And this is the roof garden. This is the roof garden on the house. On the lower ground, the lounge area is a double height. On the back side of the house, he has added these glass panel which protect the house from the direct wind, as well as this double height add a natural light inside the office, which makes the house more efficient in the daytime. And in the bottom of this panels, he has added a concrete ledge where people can put their laptop, they can sit and enjoy the view of the surrounding context. On the ground floor, he has added these roller mesh which provides the security into the house. And if we talk about this part of the house, which is very interesting, this is the detail view of this particular area. So this is the front wall which has a brick, you can clearly see, and there are small cavity. So these are the natural cavity which takes the hot air inside the house. And in this house he added a fish pond in the front of the house which makes this whole area cool. So while the hot air is entered inside this office, this hot air become cool because of this fish pond, as well as because of the Bernoulli's principles. So Bernoulli principles talks about the idea of that when a hot air travels from the small cavity, it decreases its temperature. So the air travels from outside to inside and the whole temperature decreases while traveling inside the office. He added this cavity from the first floor to the second floor, which makes the house more cooler as well as studio more efficient into the daytime. As well as in this house, he also added these concrete ledge tables where a person can sit and can work on the laptop. As well as he also added these glass louvers on the same height of this ledge top. And the air travel from here, it passes from these small punctures and it become cool from this fish pond and it enters into the main studio. So this way, this studio become more passive and more efficient into the daytime. As well as in the top floor, he added this roof garden which protects the house from the direct sun rays. So overall microclimate of the indoor is much efficient as compared to the outside of the studio. So this is the elevation of the house and you can clearly see it contains a pure geometry in the front. The local material that he has used, he added a brick wall to protect the house from the noise, as well as added a cavity buffer wall which makes the house more cool. He also uses recycled stone paving to make this house more sustainable, and the overall proportion of the house is in the cube. As well as you can also understand that he divided this house also in the elevation, the 9-grid system. So this makes this house very proportionate, and in this whole house he didn't use any paint. All the materials are raw and exposed, which decrease the VOC component of the house. As well as he added a exposed material to make this house more natural and connected to the context. So now the question is how we can implement these design principles into our design, or maybe in the context of Indian architecture. So Palinda architecture is always emphasizing the importance of pure geometry. Whenever we design, we try to use the most purest form of the architecture. This will give you a kind of a simplicity into the design. The second principle that we can implement from the Palinda architecture is the importance of climate. Palinda always emphasizes the importance of climate into the house, where he added a buffer wall to protect the house from the noise, as well as he added a kind of a passive cooling with the help of a Bernoulli system to enhance the microclimate of the house. So the climate always plays a crucial role in the field of architecture. And the third and very most important thing is the use of the material. He added raw material to make this house more efficient, as well as he uses the locally available materials such as brick and the stone. So use of material is also very important in the field of architecture. And if you love architecture, you cannot ignore these principles, and if you follow these principles into your design, your client will appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more such videos. If you have any particular requirement of architecture video, you can comment down below. We will definitely make a video on that particular topic. Subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Till then, keep learning, keep hustling, keep smiling. Salute.